you
wanted to beat another rock star's ass recently?
No,
not at all.
No.
Has anybody ever gotten lippy? Just like, they want to test you and poke the bear a little bit.
I'm not the guy that happens to. I mean,
I wouldn't think so. Backstage, Rocklahoma 2025. You never know who you're going to run into, man. It's been 3 days, and you turn the corner, and it's Zoltan Bathory, man. How are you, brother?
Well, you're talking about me like I'm the Sasquatch that I have to be sighted.
I'm telling you, it feels like that. How long have it been since it's been a minute?
It's been a minute, yeah. Actually, that's true, yeah.
And but the second he walks in, I'm like, let's talk about everything: motorcycles, guns, explosives, like skydiving, whatever we got. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because you were probably one of the most exciting, like off the stage, like the band, obviously Five Finger Death Punch. But man, the second you step off that stage, you go into mock overdrive on fun things to do.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, this is the thing, man. You gotta have your bucket list.
Yeah.
Little check marks, and you just gotta hit it. You just have to hit it.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have a bucket list? Because I feel like you live every day harder than 99% of the world.
Well, yeah, I add something to it every day. So that's it's a dynamic bucket list every day. Oh yeah, that sounds like I can survive that. I'm gonna do that, right? It's kind of like that.
Well, this, one of the things, and I was telling Chuck about this. When we first met, I started talking to you about guns or cars or trips or where you came from. You came from some super hard beginnings. Like,
Yeah. Like it was, communist country,
Very much. Yeah.
Like, look, Western society was visible to us. We just was, we were like the hungry kids outside of the restaurant. You could see it, but we couldn't be part of it, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons I guess once I got out of there, that bucket list happened. Like, okay, now I can do all the things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because, I was aware of all the things. We just couldn't partake. So it was kind of like,
And you grew up hard. Like, we talked about this with your mom and dad, and they've sent you to boarding school.
Yeah. Well, it was my choice, actually. But yeah. Well, it was kind of the thing. Like, you come home, I'm bleeding out of my head. And my mom would be like, just don't get on a carpet. Okay, that's completely normal. That's East Europe for you. That knife sticking out your back is like, oh, I guess you're gonna have to go to the hospital, take the bicycle,
Be back by 9. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it. Yeah.
But you came to the States with, just $100?
Yeah, $500, a guitar,
and a guitar,
a bunch of like I have a little suitcase or a little bag with a little clothes in it. That's it. I didn't speak English, so I was like, all right,
amazing,
let's
man.
go.
I remember listening to you tell me this and just staring at you thinking, this is the American dream. It really is. And then putting together a band that kids love, that they lived through, that you pushed through everything. You don't talk about the American dream. That's the American dream.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. Is this your American dream?
I think
To be a rock star?
I would love it to be.
With cars
man. It's really that. Like growing up. Look, I think because the way I grew up, right? Because the way all of us came up there, that is part of the success. Because you kind of knew that. Okay, I have to be well read. I have to be smarter, faster, stronger than anything else or anyone else around me.
That's right.
That's kind of like it's a big difference where if you weren't born in America, you're already a 1%er. Most Americans don't realize this. They don't actually realize that you're already a 1%er.
Luckiest people in the world.
Yeah, so so when you grow up in the circumstances that you don't have resources, you have to be resourceful, and that's kind of the idea that we were kind of bred like little pit bulls. So once I could come over here. I feel like it was not that it was easy. I mean, it was an uphill battle, but I was equipped. Like I was a martial artist already. I started when I was a little kid, and well educated. I was ready. It was all that. My whole life was a preparation for one day I'm gonna go to America. All my friends would be like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah,
because we didn't have passports. We couldn't get out of that country. But I was preparing since I was a little kid. Like, oh man, one day I'm going to America and I'm going to do exactly this.
You always had that. Yeah.
And everybody would laugh at me like, man, like we don't have passports. How are you going to do this? I'm like, oh, just trust me. I'm going,
Yeah.
And so,
you did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you represent a lot of kids. You represent a lot of history for those. You made it out. You made it happen. You got here, and again, you kept going, and you knew it was not going to miss.
Right.
You had to make it happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of when you row out so far you can't go back. That's
Burn the ships.
I burn the ships. That's it. Yeah, burn the ships. You know that.
That's
Because I say that. Yeah, burn the ships.
the
Right,
ships,
burn the
right.
boats, man. That's
well, and even
exactly
to this day, you think about all that Five Finger has done, all that you've done, and you're still like, you guys still have that mentality because the huge story that came out this year that we've talked about, that you've talked about a ton, is your catalog got sold.
Right.
And instead of letting that kick the crap out of you, or you go online and start complaining, you guys go back in the studio and you re-record the songs,
and
man.
and hardcore fans will go out and they'll buy them because it's the right thing to do.
That's it.
It's
I mean, look, this is the thing. This is not, so it's not, what they did is not a crime. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's very common, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't actually understand this, like what happens behind the scene in the music industry. And it's a pretty common thing. It's just how you react to it. Most bands usually just accept their fate. We are not that band. We never been, So it's like, okay. And as a martial artist, that's kind of, I guess my mentality sort of permeated the whole band. So everybody kind of in the same way that you look at it as it's a chess game. You made your move, now we're gonna make our move. And it's kind of like the idea to also respect your opponent, right? Because it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu, right? You have to or any kind of fight. If it's called a fight, the reason it's called a fight because the opponent has a chance. Otherwise, it would be called a beatdown, right?
right. Yeah.
So respect your opponent. Now, in the business, it's the same thing. I have to respect their move, and okay, well, we're gonna do ours. So this is just sort of those things where we didn't. We didn't freak out. We heard the news. It was surprising that nobody told us.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, you can do that, sure, but then we can do what we can do, and
That's right.
Well, that's
it.
key, though, right? And that's key in being a good fighter. Don't get emotional. Don't get it kind of.
Correct.
Make it, decide, make your decision, and go do it.
Yeah.
That's your response.
Yeah. And that's kind of it's everybody, especially the guys laughing at him, because I would go to these competitions and for whatever reason, same thing when I go on stage, I don't have that adrenaline dump, like people have that adrenaline dump. And it actually helps you because it gets you, you stronger in some way, and also you're not really feeling pain, And I don't have that. I could roll out of bed and do the competition. Same thing. I can go on stage, 50,000 people, doesn't matter. I can go, look, okay, guys, show, where's my guitar?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty even keeled when it comes to this. And so when these kind of things happen in life or business, bad news happens almost every day. How do you react?
Are you afraid of anything? Does anything scare you?
Nah. I mean, I would have to think about it. And there's no physical fear or any kind of phobia.
Right.
I don't have those, right? But yeah, obviously everybody has fears. All right, like a fear. If I have fears, it's kind of different. It's not a physical. It's not representing itself or doesn't manifest in the same way. I like the record straight about things, right? So, for example, like look at the band's legacy, right? If I have a fear about that, the fear is that it is miscommunicated or misunderstood, or the information that's out there is not real. Like the clickbait headlines and all that actually kind of piss me off low key, Not enough that I would really react to it, but it's just annoying, right? Because there are so many things that are out there, Like we started this band completely from ground zero.
Yeah.
We recorded our first album in my bedroom. Like the first album, literally, I sat there and wrote most of the song. I had like 11, 12 songs by the time I started to recruit the band members, right? And we recorded it completely. We mixed it. Photos were done. Album cover was done. And that's when we started to talk to a record label that eventually signed us. And the deal was that they're never going to meddle in our process. They're going to put out this record as is. Right? And then I see out there like dumb shit like, oh, this is an industrial, whatever. The industry made this band and recruited them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so far, it's so the opposite of what happened. Those things are annoying because that's kind of your legacy. And there are a lot of these things out there that, the people don't understand that actually it was the people, and it is the people's band, where we came from and how we built this. We've never been on a major label, right? And we dealt with everything. Like we never got tour support. This band completely supported itself from almost day one. We got one-time tour support on the very first tour. We repaid that within like 8 months and never again. That's it. And so people don't really know that. They don't see behind
Well, that's my point when we started this conversation today. was I know where you came from. You told me, you explained it to me, and I think to me that's the movie, right? That's the book I want to read. That's I want people to know that story, and I think your legacy is important because I think it represents a lot of kids that don't know if they can achieve, that have a hard start. Because look, it's because I'm one of those people that believe we all have a chance, but we don't all start from the same place.
Yeah.
And it is very hard for certain people, like harder than it is for others. And that's what I think, Americans especially, and this is me knowing how lucky I am.
Right.
Where I started is a lot easier.
Right.
And so I have a deep, resounding respect for that.
Yeah, so it's not, as I said, it's not really a fear, but it's more like I won the record street. I don't need the fluff either. It's not like, oh, this is, no, just put the pieces where they belong.
Just truth. Just the truth.
Have you wanted to beat another rock star's ass recently?
No,
not at all.
No.
Has anybody ever gotten lippy? They want to test you and poke the bear a little bit.
I'm not the guy that happens to. I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
there are enough videos out there that I'm picking up.
Right.
I fight ultra heavy division, so you're gonna find videos when I pick up 300-pound guys and smash them into the. I'm not really the guy that But here's the thing. I never picked a fight in my life. Now, if you pick it, you have it. You own it. It's yours now.
Yeah.
But the first rules of martial arts: avoid it. Don't be where the shit is. Right.
Yeah.
You have the sense of the situation awareness that something is going sideways. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. It's the same thing. Like, look, when you're armed, actually, you're probably calmer than anyone else because I'm armed most of the time, almost always, right? And it's like I don't want to be in a situation when that comes to play. So especially I avoid it, right? Because you don't want to. When when it comes to play, then that's already a big problem, right? So you kind of avoid it. Now, it's the same thing when you're a martial artist. You know what you're capable of. You know how the damage you can cause, right? Because you're doing it, because that's what you do. You're a martial artist. You understand, actually, right? Most people think they can fight, but then
Mike Tyson thing. Everybody thinks they can fight till they get punched. Yeah.
And so when you're a martial artist, you kind of understand that. So it's one of those things like, I don't want to be in that position, And you also understand when look, you can get punched, and if you got punched just once, it's already inverted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so but all those things you train for, that's like the last resort, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, would you consider yourself a peaceful man?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I read this quote.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked that
is
to be peaceful, you have to be capable of great violence.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're just harmless.
Oh, yeah, correct. And it's a big difference. No, it's the same idea of, you want to be the warrior in the garden. Right,
that's it.
Not the gardener in the war, kind of.
By the way, this is the most metal conversation of all metal conversation that ever happened. I'm not kidding a little bit. Like this is, people talking about metal. I'm like, this is metal for God's sake, because this comes through in your music, comes through in your guitar playing, comes through in lyrics.
Yeah, the live show, everything.
Alex, Alex is terrible, right?
I've been thinking about him. Yeah,
he's one of the sweetest guys.
Yeah,
he's super calm, super cool. Right? We just did a tour with them, and one of the nicest guys. He will wrestle a bear, and
he has wrestled a bear. He does bare knuckle fighting.
Correct.
I mean, he's terrifying.
Right.
Alex is terrible, and the band has some of the heaviest music. They do the massive wall of death at every show and all of that.
That's right. Yeah.
Sweetest guy.
But look at this person.
Well, guys like that can afford to be sweet, right?
That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't have to be loud. He just And same thing. I mean, he grew up over there, so he knows.
That's right.
We Eastern European, we understand how things can go sideways really quickly.
I think I told you we had spent New Year's Eve in Russia we gone to Moscow. And at the first, we came up the train right by Red Square, and the first thing I saw is my buddy Johnny, we have backpacks, is some guy getting strong arm robbed, and he's getting rabbit punched. They've got a coat over him, and this guy's just dropping the hammer on him. And I mean, I normally I would think you almost want to get involved, you want to help somebody, but it was one of those things you go, oh no,
when was this?
This was 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It was the day there was a bombing on the railway because we had just gotten in there. And we spent New Year's Eve, and it was one of the most interesting, dark.
Because these days, actually, East Europe is pretty nice. you know. But man,
Well, this was everybody
30
was
years
nice.
ago.
No, no.
Yeah.
And again, everybody was nice, so I have nothing
Right.
negative
Yeah,
to say.
yeah.
But it was heavy, and then the
Right.
police force and the soldier force and
Right.
getting in there, like there's no fucking.
Well, there's no talking back to the police in
That's
Eastern
right.
Europe.
That's right. Yeah.
There's no throwing rocks or bottles or whatever in a cop cars because
Yeah.
it's gonna have a very different outcome.
No, it's going to go to sport at that point. They're
Yeah,
going to see how
yeah,
far they can throw
yeah.
you down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fear.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Man,
Not a free one, man, because I don't do that shit. I'm smarter than that.
man, it sure is good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see the show tonight, man. Rocklahoma. This is not your first time here.
No, not the first rodeo.
And these guys appreciate it. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, this is a ritual, man.
That's it.
We
Yeah.
coming back, yeah.
Tradition, man.
All right. Best, man.
All right.